And then what I usually do is I usually ask everybody to, um, you know, turn the camera on at least for the screenshot, and then at least I have some indication that people have actually participated, at least to the extent that they turn the cameras on.
Oh yes, we would love to take like a group photo after.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, if you want to take a screenshot now, of course, I don't know
Actually,
why Steve
yeah, maybe we
went
should do
off.
it now because I might forget.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone can turn.
I'll add a couple more people on, and then
Okay.
Tim, you ought to tell your friend Steve to turn his camera back on. See, Steve, he was. Oh, there he is. I was gonna say, when he's eating, he has his camera on. When he's not eating, he turns his camera off.
No, exposed.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna let's. I'll do the screenshot, and you can do the screenshot too.
Oh yeah, I'll do one too. Okay, ready. Okay, I
All
can share
right.
this with you too,
Okay.
Albert.
So this is week 6 of COM350, and we are in the Thursday class. It's a Tuesday Thursday class, and the Thursday class I usually invite one of my friends or contacts in the business, which I think would be interesting for the students to hear. And before we get into the talk, and I have Chantel and Kayla on that's going to do kind of a presentation. I wanted to give our two guest speakers a little sense of what we've covered. And Chantel, you were on last year, so you kind of
Yes.
know this is
Mm-hmm.
the book covers sort of the environment and the conditions upon which these what we call computer mediated communications are used, and we haven't deviated from that because we're still using the textbook. What I have sort of switched up a little bit this year is that in the context of all the electronic media that we are able to access, everything from email to text to social media to Zoom, and then now with also the introduction of new technologies like AI, it's it's advancing very quickly. And the other thing that I find important is to kind of give some context in regard to the internet, because all of the platforms that we talk about are enabled as a result of the internet as being the network upon which all this information is being transmitted. So I wanted to provide that sort of context. And it's not just about the book and the environments that we're talking about, but it's also all the nuances of the technology, all the different kinds of activities that are going on. This past week has been pretty interesting with, I'm hoping that many of you saw the address that Pete Hegseth did to the 800 or so generals and admirals, in Quantico, and then President Trump came on and also spoke to them, and it was quite, quite outrageous. And then if you jump on any of the social media platforms, like what I did, I go check out places like TikTok. There's a lot of commentary and dissection of what it is that's being talked about, and we're living in some pretty outrageous times. And it's interesting to see how a lot of this activity is being communicated, repurposed, repackaged, for our consumption, regardless of where we might consume our news and information. So, the book offers sort of a way of looking at some of the these electronic platforms. But what we're living through right now is just not only a multitude of things, but it's a multitude of ways that these messages and this content and how it gets kind of perpetuated through the network is happening at real time. So and again, it's a lot to absorb. It's not necessarily the main focus of the class, but I feel it's important that you kind of see the context of it all, given everything that's happening, all around us. So, yeah, if you might think, oh, how come, Bert's deviating from the book? Well, I think it's more than just the book, right? And I think there's so much more going on. That's why I try to throw in a couple of, interesting links, to some of the commentary. I include some of the press releases that, the Lieutenant Governor is doing. And she's doing, things to help the community, right, better utilize this technology. And you might think, oh, that's pretty basic, but there's a lot of people that are now entering into this digital world. And I think Jim and Steve guys can speak to the where kupuna are as they enter into this digital world. So there's a lot going on, and I wanted to give you guys a kind of a perspective of all the activities that might be kind of included in this particular topic that we have this class. So anyway, I take it upon myself to kind of just expose you all to as much as I think might be pertinent. Now, with that long introduction, I wanted to give it over to Chantel and Kayla, and they are part of a company called Crystal Clear Communications. Now, I'll let Chantel give you guys the official introduction, but what I would encourage you all to listen for is that they are in the business of public relations, marketing, outreach, social media. So they're coming from the actual business of doing this communication. And so you might want to think about what it is that they're presenting. You might think about questions that you might have, especially in the context of if this is an area that you folks are interested in, right? If you're interested in pursuing not only a degree in communications, but perhaps a job in communications, I think Chantel and Kayla can give you a good sense of what that involves. Yeah. So with that, Chantel, why don't you provide your intro, and then you have the ability to share screen, so you can go for it.
Thanks so much, Brent. Thanks again for having us. Kayla, if you wanted to share the presentation. Perfect. Okay. So I'll just start. So my name is Chantel, and I have my colleague here with me, Kayla, today, and then we'll be talking about the world of public relations and walking you through some of the tools, strategies, and examples that we use at Crystal Clear Communications. And at our agency, we are a women-owned Hawaii-based PR agency, and we'll also share how we work with a diverse set of clients, from like restaurants to shopping centers to nonprofits. So yeah, throughout today's presentation, just feel free to stop me, and if you have any questions, I'm super happy to answer anything. If you guys have any questions on a particular slide, just stop me or like put in the chat. And today we just hope to give you a better sense of what PR really is and why it's such an important part of building relationships and trust between organizations and their communities. So next slide, Kayla. So I did want to start off by asking a question for the class. So what do you think public relations is? So I wanted to ask, and when you hear the term PR or public relations, like what comes to your mind? Like maybe it's social media, press releases. Does anyone have?
I think of like big companies and how they work with like smaller individuals underneath them, like influencers and people that do their own sort of advertising.
Oh, yes, that's a great answer. Anyone else want to throw out anything?
I think of like a social presence that a company has.
Hmm. Awesome. Yeah. So, next slide, Kayla. So PR is so yeah, like you guys mentioned, so PR is a combination of many different activities. So like content creation, event planning, even crisis management. And like Julia said, social media management, relationship building, crafting messages, and media relations. So at the heart of PR, it's storytelling. So making sure that the right story about your brand or organization is being told to the right people at the right time. So in our job, it's about building credibility and trust for our clients, so that when we share something, when we share our brands or our clients' stories, and when the audience hears about them, they already have that sense of connection and understanding. And then just a background on our agency before we kind of dive into all the tools and strategies that we use. Um, so we're Crystal Clear Communications. So we've been in business for about 12 years. And during that time, we've built a team of 6 professionals based in Hawaii and Virginia. So together our team brings more than 80 years of combined experience to the table. So our specialty is creating individualized PR strategies that focus on each client's unique goals and target audience. So we've worked with everything from national restaurant chains to even small community-based nonprofits. And that wide variety has helped us learn how to adapt to many different industries and needs. And next slide. Yeah, so these are some of the services we offer for PR and marketing needs. So some of what we do includes community engagement, content creation, copywriting, email marketing, event planning, media relations, Japan media relations, which includes like translations, and coordinating with Japan media influencers and reporters, and of course, social media marketing. And I think what sets our agency as apart is that we don't offer cookie cutter solutions. So every campaign is tailored to every client. So for example, like if a nonprofit client may need support with like grassroots community outreach, while a restaurant client may need buzz and visibility through influencers and like food reporters. So our job is to figure out like the right approach for each client. And some of our current clients, we just had like a list of our current clients. So right now we're currently working with Alexander and Baldwin. So some of their properties include like Manoa Marketplace, Kailua Town, Chinatown 808. We're helping them. This weekend they have their Mid-Autumn Festival in Chinatown. So we've been helping promote that event and some other hotels, restaurants, farmers markets, even city contracts, and nonprofits. Yep, next slide. So just a little bit background of me and Kayla. So I'll go first. Um, so I've worked with Crystal Clear about more than 6 years. I've had the privilege of working with many of Hawaii's top businesses and organizations across industries, like I mentioned, like restaurants, retail, tech, nonprofits. I graduated from Roosevelt and I earned my bachelor's in communications from UH Manoa. So I actually did take a COM350 class, but I don't think when I was there it was more of like a social media class. But yeah, so I took a lot of the comms classes at UH Manoa too. And then after college, earlier in my career, I've had the chance to work in Tokyo at a marketing agency, which kind of gave me a unique perspective of how marketing works in an international setting. And then over the years, working with Crystal Clear Communications, we've been recognized with a lot of awards from PRSA Hawaii, which has been really rewarding. And then I'm gonna pass it over to Kayla. She can introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla. I wasn't with Crystal Clear Communications as long as Chantel has been, but I'm I'm recent and I'm their designer. So I do their graphic design. I'm with marketing and I do other creative things for all the clients. I also do photography. I make videos like their PSAs, social media videos, reels, all the short forms of content. I'm a Castle High School graduate and I hold a bachelor's in new media and marketing from Southern New Hampshire University. It was an online course because I did not want to leave Hawaii. And I also have a UX UI design certificate from UC Berkeley, where I learned how to make apps and websites and all things like that. I previously, before coming here, was working in corporate for a Fortune 500 company as their marketing coordinator. So yeah, that's a little about me. Back to you, Chantel.
All right, so now we're going to shift to some of the tools we use for our projects and clients to keep them organized. So the first one is Slack. So basically Slack is our virtual office. It's how we communicate as a team every single day. So we set up, what we do in Slack is we set up different channels, for each client. So all files, updates, and conversations stay in one place. So what we love about Slack is how it integrates with other apps like Google Drive and Canva, so we can pull in content really easily. And it allows us to just work really well together. So it's very important to some of our team members, which is also based in Virginia. So it just Slack is just like our main communication tool and how we keep organized. Um, Next one is Monday.com. So Monday.com is like our project management platform. So think of it like a giant visual to-do list for our entire agency. So we use it to assign tasks, track deadlines, check on progress for each campaign or status of a campaign that we're working on. One feature we do use a lot in Monday.com is automation. So it helps us save time by automatically sending reminders or updating project statuses to each team member, whoever is assigned to each task. So for example, if a campaign reached a certain date, Monday.com can trigger a reminder for us to post, like send out a press release or follow up with like a media. So that's what we use Monday.com is like our platform, project management platform. The next one, Google Workspace. So some of you guys might be familiar, but we do use Google Workspace every day. It's another core part of how we keep organized and operated. So this includes Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Drive, Google Calendar. So we keep everything organized within their own master folders, so which makes it really easy for all of our team members to find what we need for a certain client, a project, or a campaign. So one of the best features we like is being able to collaborate in real time, so multiple team members can work on that same document at once, which is a huge time saver, especially when we're editing reports or drafting pitches on a deadline. And then going more into Google Workspace on Google Sheets. Next slide. Yeah, so Google Sheets. So Google Sheets deserves its own mention because it's so central to our work. So we use it to track like our client hours, manage our staff schedules, calculate our PR values and impressions that we reach on a certain campaign. And we even use it to build out our monthly social media content calendars for each client. So I think we do have, we will show you an example of like one of our content calendars that we do for Google Sheets. So this is for one of like our clients, Dumpling Factory. So we kind of like organize everything into its own like calendar for the month. So you can see multiple team members touch this Google Sheet. So you can kind of see like who drafted the captions, like who scheduled it, and like and we have like the copy that has been approved. Sometimes we highlight it if we're gonna be doing like a real video to post. So this just keeps all of like our client posts organized, and that multiple team members can like easily, like if one team member is out of office and another team member can step in to like fill the rest of the month. So this is kind of like our collaboration tool for our social media content. Yeah, so just want to kind of show you the back end of that. And then the next slide. Does anyone have any questions in the meantime for all of our project management tools?
So like when you do like your schedule, not well, sort of project management, you have Monday.com and you
Mm-hmm.
also have Google Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
How do you differentiate what should be on, which is better for what type of function? So when would you go to Sheets and when would you go to Monday.com?
So like Monday.com is more for like updates for tracking our deadlines and our project tasks. So it's basically more of like updates. We wouldn't put like our actual like so say if we have like an October calendar that we like to usually do it like a month in advance so that we're covered going into October, so that Monday.com it would just show the task if like the deadlines like and who's the lead on that project, whereas Google Sheets that's gonna be like where all of the content is, like that's where all the information is gonna be, like that's where everyone can like easily go in and either approve the captions, like look at the photos. So that's more of like the information rather than the sheets we use for like all the content and then and our projects. And then Monday.com is more of just tracking the status of the projects and who's like the lead on it. Yeah. And tracking deadlines. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so next for tools that we use for social media management. So one of the tools we use is Bitly, and it's a shortening link service. So, if we want to generate shorter links for posts and we don't want like, sometimes if we want to share some like a website, it's like a long link. So Bitly helps us to shorten that link and also tracks like who the number of times like that link's been like clicked. So that on our end, we can kind of track it for a campaign. Say if we're trying to drive like clicks to the website, that would help us track like how many users clicked on that link. And Bitly also generates QR codes for campaigns. So it also tracks how many times people click or scan them. And it's a great way to measure engagement on like a very practical level and understand what content is driving action. So that's what Bitly is. The next is Social Pilot, I believe. Yeah. So Social Pilot is a platform we use for social media scheduling. So this allows us to plan out posts. So once like our in Google Sheets, once our content calendar is created, we use Social Pilot next to actually schedule it to the social media channels. So we use this to schedule posts to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and more, all from like one dashboard. So we use this to actually schedule the post, and then it helps us track our analytics for the month. So how every month at the end of for every first of the month, it will automate reports for the previous month, and then we'll see all the engagement, social media post engagements, our reach for every post. So that helps us kind of track like how our posts are doing and then adjust if we need to. So that's Social Pilot. And then I'll turn it over to Kayla for our tools for PR.
Yeah, so some of the tools we use for PR is MailChimp first. So if you have ever went to a restaurant and there was a QR code to scan to be part of their newsletter, or if you follow restaurants and you are a part of newsletters, then you get this in your email. This is what most of the time they use MailChimp, and it's basically a marketing automation tool. So it's an email marketing platform and it just creates and sends email campaigns to customers and subscribers. We use it to like manage mailing lists and create customized segments for target audience. And we use the data back like recommendations to find and engage customers as well. Some of our favorite features would be reports on campaign performance, like open rates, like click-through rates, conversions, and helping users refine their strategies. It's also very user-friendly, so if you were ever to use this, it's one of those drag and drops. It's pretty simple to use, and it's easy to make it very visually appealing without needing intensive coding skills. And then Next would be Google Alerts. So Google Alerts is basically a free service that monitors the web for new content and then matches a user's searches and sends email notifications when it finds new results. So we use it for brand monitoring, which is when businesses can use Google Alerts to track mentions and reviews of their brand and monitor their competitors' online activities. And some of our favorite features would be using multiple keywords or phrases to capture a wide range of relevant content, making sure we don't miss any important updates. And you can choose how often you want to receive alerts as well, immediately, daily, weekly, just based on your preferences. And then Google Analytics is a platform that collects data from websites and apps to create reports that provide insights to the businesses. And we use it for website traffic analysis. So we track visitor behaviors and navigation on the site, audience insights. So it gathers demographic data to understand the users better, and conversion tracking. So this measures key actions like form submissions or purchases to assess effectiveness. And our favorite features would be probably that we can customize it and personalize dashboards to display the metrics that matter the most. So it streamlines the data access and reporting. And we can also understand our users that are finding our website, whether it's organic, social media, paid ads, or referrals, so we can see where they're coming through from. Yeah. And then was there any questions for that segment?
Who's your in-house? Who does your analytics? Like for any client that needs a report or something, who's your go-to person?
Probably me.
Oh yeah, okay. So you're the analytics.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are some of the tools we use for content creation. Squarespace and WordPress are all website platforms. And so what it is, a Squarespace is an all-in-one website building platform that allows users to create really nice websites without needing extensive coding skills. And then WordPress, on the other hand, is a content management system that allows for a wide range of websites, but also acquires a little bit more technical knowledge and for advanced features. So there's more customization because you would require some coding in that sense. And we use it for website maintenance. So we create and manage websites for some clients, like portfolios, press releases. And we also use it to build brand awareness. So building an online presence, sharing news, and engaging with audiences through blogs and media updates. Our favorite features are the thousands of plugins that extend functionality and allows us to add features like SEO tools, contact forms, e-commerce capabilities, and there's also a wide variety of themes available, and you can modify that to however you want with coding with CSS and HTML for users that are comfortable with coding. So kind of like MailChimp, it's especially for Squarespace, it's a lot of drag and drop, so very easy to use. And this is Figma. So Figma is a cloud-based interface design and prototyping tool that enables designers to create, collaborate, and iterate on UX or UI projects in real time. So a lot of apps redesigns and website redesigns, things like that. It's not very traditional, but it also allows multiple team members to work simultaneously. So just like how Chantel was explaining how we can all work at the same time with Google, it's kind of the same way. You would see you could work all together in the same file in Figma. We use it for website designs. We make like wireframes and mock-ups that we can send over to our client for them to approve before we build. There's even prototyping features, so you can actually make it like a clickable prototype where you can click from like in the nav to go to homepage and things like that. So you can see like how you want things animated before you actually make the website itself. And some of the favorite features would be the components and styles. So you can make reusable components to use throughout to ensure that it is all the same throughout, and the typography as well, and it just keeps the designs consistent and scalable. And there's also a lot of plugins you can add to this as well, like icons, stock photos, things that will live in Figma, so you won't have to keep clicking out and saving and downloading and then bringing it back in. So I wanted to show you guys how Figma is. So we recently did a website redesign for a nonprofit organization. And this is how the board looks. It's a bit messy once it loads, but just to show you guys. Okay, so this, for example, there's also so this is what I was talking about with the prototype. So you can prototype this. We can make clicking on here, go to here. There's a lot of things you can do, but mainly what we use it for is just the design portion. So here you can choose the frame. So we just choose like a standard computer screen frame. And this would be this was the landing page, the header. We made all these elements here. You can scroll down, you see how it would be. I designed the pop-ups here. It's a big board that you can do a lot with. Here was all the pages and then the elements that was used throughout. And this is, like I said, it's something that everyone can collaborate on. So you would see everyone's little icons here working. It's a very good platform to use. So yeah, that is Figma.
Can I ask you something, Kayla?
Yeah, of
How do
course.
you how do you go from the design on Figma to your actual WordPress template?
Yeah, so there's a lot of plugins actually. It is paid, but there's a lot where it's actually compatible with Figma. So we could here, I'll go back to here. So we could build this fully out, and then there's some plugins that you can have that will fully integrate this entire homepage to a homepage without having to do any coding on WordPress. And it would be the exact spacing, it would be like everything of how you made it. So there's that way. And then, but the way that we use it mainly is just so that we can get a feel for the layout and how we want it to look, because so Figma is majority for website and app redesigns because it has that prototyping ability. So we just use it to build it out because it gives us all the freedom. Like we can make anything, you know? And then from here, we just compare it side by side while we're building out the website in WordPress or Squarespace, whichever is needed. So that's why it's labeled here. Homepage, about, we just move on and build as we see. Kind of helps us have a direction versus doing it like freehanding it in WordPress, as WordPress does take a lot of time to make.
Just how do you like this? Like they're very comparable, right? Squarespace and this, right?
Right.
Which do you like better and like for what reasons?
Well, it would depend. Honestly, for me, with my experience in website design, Squarespace is definitely the easiest and it's also a bit cheaper. There's a lot of templates. Like if you ever used Canva before, you know how there's a whole bunch of templates. It's like that for Squarespace, so it's super, super simple and really like user friendly. But the difference is with WordPress, you have way more freedom to customize it exactly how you want it. So if you want custom like animations, custom just it just it's I don't it's just simple. Squarespace would just be the simpler option to me, and it also requires no code. um WordPress does require some code for CSS to make it look exactly how you want it to look, for like the spacing, like things like that. So yeah, it just depends like what the client wants, and you just evaluate their needs first, like their budget and things like that. And then Canva is one of the tools that we use the most often. It's a free to use online graphic design tool. We use it to create social media posts, presentations, posters, videos, logos, and more. Just basically everything. We use it to design and post contents for platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, as well as print and digital ads. Um, For presentations, we use it to present like how we are right now and present proposals. For videos, we create and edit videos and social media reels. We also add images, charts, text, and other things to documents with Canva. And we can also use this for website mockups as well. Our favorite features will probably be that there are millions of images, icons, fonts, and logos to use. And there's even a feature where you can create like brand kits. So if you have a client or if you want to just remain consistent colors throughout all of your designs, there's a feature where you can add the color palette there, as well as the text, the uh the text size, so everything is always consistent and the same for all.
So
So
you know, with
recently,
Canva.
yeah.
So Kayla, you said that, do you guys at Crystal Clear, you guys use a free account, or you guys have a regular paid professional account?
Oh yeah, so we use a paid professional account because so there's a free version, just like all free versions, it's limited. So not all
Mm-hmm.
icons are available and it says upgrade to pro to get this. So we have the
Mm-hmm.
pro version, yeah, for our team. And it's also because a lot of us work on it as well. So a lot of us can like join the paid team and collaborate on the designs. But for people who are just individuals that are wanting to design, you are able to use it for free with
So
limits.
just for the class, I'm going to have Guy Kawasaki be one of our guest speakers coming up in about I don't know, a month or so. And Guy is he'll tell his own history, but you know, he's like an evangelist for, you know, whatever product he is out there evangelizing. And of course, he got his start evangelizing about Apple Computer. But he's a big evangelist for Canva. And I remember, you know, in the early days, he was talking about Canva before anybody else was talking about Canva. And now, you know, Canva is probably like the go-to place for any designer who wants to, you know, have some real quick turnaround on coming up with some, you know, designs for stuff. So I gotta hand it to him for being, you know, not only picking them early, but he does a good job of being the sort of prototypical evangelist.
Yeah, Canva's awesome. It's probably, well, for me, because I am the designer for Crystal Clear Communications, it's the most used platform on my end. And yes, very quick turnarounds because I have experience using Adobe, and yeah, this is way faster and it's almost as wide for creative purposes too. You can do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But yeah, so recently we partnered with the Department of Health to create a variety of print materials. Canva gave us that flexibility to design and edit the assets, ensuring everything aligned with the project goals and our client's vision. They had 4 groups, On Track, Kayla Host Services, Hawaii Cares, and one more that's not in here. It's Safe Spaces. And we did, I think it was about 12 to 15 print designs for all of them. So here's a banner that I did for them, notepad design, some rack cards, and Canva was really cool with this. So if you're doing a print design and you select that you're doing a print design, it will open this screen right here. So as you're editing, you can see how it looks like on scale. So you can see how it would look on someone's table or if it's in someone's hand. Like they have a great mock-up feature as well. And it gives you all that ability to move layers around, create these gradients that you see over here. It's a very awesome tool. And another thing that's so great about Canva is that, oh, sorry, they're playing already. But Canva isn't just for print, as you saw. We can also use it for video editing. So we use this as our prime video editing tool, and we use it to make PSAs, social media reels, and it allows us to produce engaging media content while maintaining that consistent brand look and feel. I wanted to show, so a lot of people use Canva. Oh, she shows up. My bad, guys. I wanted to show the process of how we made this PSA. So this was a PSA we made. It actually aired on the news and on YouTube. and we made it here in Canva. And a lot of people think that Canva is just for static designs like flyers or just graphics, but you can actually use it for video editing as well. And if I show you here the element timing, you see all the elements that we use throughout this. And you also have this layers tab where you can see how every page, all the elements that we used. And it's really cool. So you basically, like this notebook, for example, this was a plain notebook. We added the text, we added some drawings here, and this hand as well. It was just a static hand, and we were able to actually animate it. So you can see the animations to make it look like she was writing. And you could do this for all the elements. And we also did subtitles, so we were able to add those. So it's just layers and layers of elements all made into one video. So I'll play the video for you guys afterwards, but you would see how all of these are animated. So it will come up. We can even have it moving. So it's actually a very good tool to use if you want to create like animations or videos too. Let me move back to the presentation. And then now I can actually play the video that I wanted to play so bad. So this is it here.
She shows up every day on time, prepared, even smiling. She's been through more than most people know. No one sees what she carries, the fear, the pain, the memories. Trauma doesn't always leave visible scars. She's learned to hide it well, but healing doesn't have to happen alone. Support can change a life, one conversation at a time. Hope is real, help is here.
So yeah, all of that was made on Canva. So I think it's a really cool tool that we used. And here's an example of a reel we did as well. So yeah, and it's an all-in-one tool and we love it so much.
So how long did it take you to learn how to do video on Canva?
So these are gonna play really. Okay, so for me, I'm already like a video editor and I also used to do like 3D animation and things like that. So I used to use Adobe, like Adobe After Effects and other platforms like Element 3D, things like that. So when I started using Canva, I realized that it was basically just a smaller scale of what I was using in Adobe. So it was just like a quicker, easier version, more user-friendly version that doesn't scare you when you open the toolbar. So it's just a matter of playing around. You can select when you're creating a design, it will ask you what kind of video you want to make. It'll say, oh, Instagram story, Instagram reel, like YouTube video, things like that. And then it opens up a blank template, and then you just have a bar here at the end. It's like this. And you can just add, as if you're making like just a normal presentation, to put into words like a normal like Google slide, but instead you have those abilities to click on the elements that you add to it and you can make them move. So you can click animate and you can click add transition and you just play around with it as it goes. Here, I'll open this up just to show one more time. So for example, here we can click animate, and it will give you options like ascend, where it will come up that way or shift. So it's just a matter of clicking what you like or whatever the client's vision is and what their vibe encapsulates, just things like that. And then as far as this goes too, it was a wipe effect, so that's why it looks like it was being written. You just play around with all these little elements and it all creates one big video. So yeah. And then to move on to Adobe, So Adobe is a creative cloud, and it's a collection of applications and services that provides subscribers access to software or graphic design, video editing, web development, photography, and mobile apps, along with optional cloud services. And we use it mainly for Lightroom and Photoshop. So with Lightroom, we use it to organize and edit and enhance the digital photos. And so when we go to photo shoots, we usually come back and import our pictures and bring it into Lightroom and adjust the lighting if it was a bit dark, if the sun was coming in too harshly, if it looks a bit dull, we just use it to brighten it up a bit. And Photoshop we use to edit and manipulate the photos, creating artwork, designing graphics, and a lot of the time just like erase some imperfections that's in the background or just things like that. And our favorite features would probably be that we have the ability to edit and sync photos on the go with the mobile app, ensuring that our edits are accessible across all devices. And we also use it to work, we work with other Creative Cloud applications like Illustrator and Lightroom for a comprehensive workflow. So that's what we use Adobe for. And then I'll turn it over to Chantel for close off.
Yeah. So do you guys have any questions? I just do want to mention that this typo. We do have internship opportunities. So if you're interested, you can email me. I just have my email up there right now. If you guys, we offer like year-round internships. I think communications does have an internship class that you're able to receive school credit for it. So yeah, if you're interested, just email me. Or if you have any other questions.
The internship, is it remote or is it in person?
So it's like a hybrid. So we usually we work from home, but we do have in-person opportunities. So we do meet as a team to get more face time with each other. And then we also have like in-person events, like whatever is going on with our clients. So if it's like a grand opening, we'd like love your help with like coming along to media events with us or like photo shoots, like actually, getting to shoot some of the photos for our clients. So we do work like remote, but we do have in-person opportunities.
I live on Maui, so I'm interested, but
Oh, okay.
I was just curious.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we do work remote, but yeah. And if there's ever a time you are like on Oahu and we have an event, we would love to like invite you if you're interning with us. But yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Chantel, do you guys have clients throughout the state, right? It's not like
Mhm.
only on Oahu.
Oh yeah, so we do have we do have some Maui clients, Big Island right now too. But yeah, we do have like all over.
Okay.
Have you ever hired like a newly graduated student as an intern, or do you only hire
Oh
like?
no, oh like graduate students? Yeah, so actually we have a graduate student that's interning with us right now. So we have 4 interns with us this semester, and one is a graduate student.
Oh, not a graduate student, but like freshly graduated from undergrad, or do you have to be enrolled like in college?
Oh no, yeah. So if you are interested in getting experience, like you would just contact me and then we can like kind of work it out because we usually do hire for just school credit. But yeah, there are opportunities.
Chantel, are you guys, is your, like internships, are they paid
They're
internships?
unpaid, yeah. So that's why we usually like to offer you have to get school credit for it, but there are like some instances where, someone is still like interested in interning without school credit, so we would just like work with them um on the side, yeah. But it's usually unpaid, but we do have like, in-person opportunities to actually, see what we do behind the scenes and go to actually like client photo shoots or like launch events and meet some of like the media reporters and influencers. Like, yeah.
So I got a question, but I want the class to ask before I ask my question.
Any other questions?
I got a question. How often do you interact with your the client?
Um, every
Give
usually every day.
update.
Yeah,
No,
probably
whoever's in charge, whatever client is in charge. How often do you brief them?
how often do
Continuously?
like brief them as in like send updates or
Yeah, progress,
oh
status.
yeah, so we usually do like maybe every other week we sent like client PR updates. So we kind of share like a project report that has like you know some of the PR coverage that we secured, so like some of the stories that we got them and what we're working on. But yeah, so like we usually send them like every other week like an update of like what we're working on that week and what kind of stories we got them and what our activities were. And then we also do communicate with them if we're working on something more urgent, then we communicate with them like every day.
And the clients that you deal with, do they know what they want, or do you have to sort of lead them down the primrose path?
Yeah, so basically they come to us for strategy. So you know, like they have an overall like so say for instance, they want us to help social media management. So they have an overall like picture of like, okay, we want ultimately the post to drive back to the our website or like they have an ideal goal. And then we kind of come in and help with the strategy and like recommendations of like how we can achieve their goal. So it varies for each client because some like they do have a specific like, oh, we want you to post this, we want like photos like this, but then other clients would be like, oh, we want you to recommend us on the strategy. So every client's different.
And how do you split your organization between Hawaii and Virginia?
So Virginia, our owner is actually living in Virginia right now. So we did have like a Virginia client, but we don't have them anymore. We don't handle their PR anymore, but she's like I guess it's like for us, it's really helpful to have someone in the mainland because then if like a project is, due a certain time, like she can kind of come in when all of us are sleeping and like work on it. Yeah, so it helps that we have like someone available like, 24/7 basically.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So what is your secret to growing, let's say, an account? So let's say you've got a new account,
Mhm.
you're gonna start their Instagram or TikTok account, and maybe settle on, let's say, Instagram. What is your key method to grow their following?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would definitely like the first step is to talk strategy and like what, our clients' goals are and like how often they want to be posted. Like we just have to kind of figure out their goals first, and then once we kind of like figure that out, then we go through like strategy, like content strategy. So we would either do like set up photo shoots and kind of see what style they like, rather than like if it's like a restaurant account, then we would do like a mixture. We would schedule a photo shoot, we would make do a mixture of like food shots with like action shots like in the kitchen and maybe even like featuring some of the employees because we know that a lot of engagement kind of comes around like seeing like local faces. So building that content bank that we can be able to post and even doing like videos for engagement. Um, and then we also did see success in like doing giveaways, for like around national holidays that are relevant to a client. So like if it's a ramen restaurant, then like National Noodle Day is coming up. So like, try to strategize around like doing a giveaway or even partnering
Mm-hmm.
with like influencers to invite them to come in and like, kind of say like their experience. So it's more authentic rather than like, doing advertising booths. So we would try to do like that organic reach first and do all of that.
All right, okay. And
Yeah.
then I guess my last question is, when you build a presence for a client, you have your kind of strategy and your techniques and how you want to, let's say, frame or brand, their particular product or service. How does that then translate to you personally, whether it's you Chantel or Kayla, and you are now putting out content for your own page, does any of that sort of spill over into like, how do you project yourself as a person versus how do you work on a client's account?
So are
You know what I
you
mean? So,
saying like, so I guess that actually, how Melissa Chang is on our team.
yeah,
So kind of like
yeah, yeah.
that, like, yeah, so it actually does help because, because she has such a big following, like she can also help with collab posts. So like if she's on like trying to help promote something, she can collaborate with our account and then like that post will reach like all her like thousands of followers. Um but basically I'm not like super active on social, but like I use it as more of like a trend watching, right? So like if like there's some like trends going around, like I want to make sure that I am like up with the trends. So like that's how like I can see like the content strategy for like our client for the next, couple months, like what's trending, like what we should like how our photo shoots like what content we should produce from that. But yeah, that's mainly for me. Like I don't like really post too much, so I use it more of like just need to be like in with the trends and like making like like the current events and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because it's one thing to be a part of a company that's doing a lot of PR marketing versus you as an individual influencer. And you bring up a good example. I had Melissa on last year, and I'm probably going to schedule her to come on again because it's a different perspective, right? You speaking from how you would do this from a company standpoint versus somebody that's an influencer actually doing maybe similar kind of work, but doing it as an influencer. That's really a different kind of perspective. Yeah. Now, how do I unshare?
Oh, let me stop sharing. There you go.
Oh, okay. Now I'm on the screen that I'm not sure how do I get off of this screen. Yeah, sorry, I'm being distracted by the fact that Zoom brought up this other share screen, and I don't know how to get rid of it. I can't see the whole. Let me. Okay. Anyway, so any other questions for Chantel or Kayla?
What
No?
was like
Okay, go ahead.
called again? What was your guys' company?
Crystal Clear Communications. Bert, if you want me, we can send the deck if you want to share.
Yeah. Please, yeah. Send the deck, and then I'll post it up on our content page. Chantel, I don't know if you guys know this, but I do have a set of survey questions, and one of the questions is who are the speakers? So they have to make sure that they get your guys' names correct, and then what's the name of the company? And that's why they're very particular about which company are we talking about. Now, I would say that we're in the sixth week, and it's going to start getting a little confusing, like which speaker did we have. So that's why I highly recommend that you try to stay as current as you can, because once you start losing track of who the speaker was or what chapter we're on, you're gonna start losing it, because I've actually got some of the students posting their survey results or survey questions based on previous speakers. So if you start losing it, then I'm not gonna save you. You're gonna have to save yourself. But most of the people are, I think, on time. So that's a bit of advice to keep up with this weekly assignment. And again, we're in the middle of the semester, but the weeks are gonna just go by super fast, because we're already kind of into October, and then we're gonna pretty much get into November. You're gonna get the holidays coming up, and You know, it's just going to be crazy. Okay, so Chantel, Kayla, much mahalo for joining us. Yeah, send me the presentation. I'll post it up to our content repository for the class. Tell Crystal I said hi and mahalo
Yeah,
for
she says hi.
volunteering you guys to do the do the talk.
Thank you so
And,
much for having us.
And then for everybody, we will be back next Tuesday. I'm going to be actually in a little conference, but I'm going to still conduct the lecture. It's interesting because the next chapter is on presence, and I'm going to have to see if I can stay present while doing the lecture while I'm in this kind of conference. We're going to be at the Entrepreneur Sandbox. Chantel, we're doing the broadband Ho'ike.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's coming up on Monday and Tuesday.
Mm.
Okay, any questions? Any questions for me or the Crystal Clear team? No? Okay, well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys back here on Tuesday. Mahalo.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.